Video bites from ulearn.photography. Here's our principal, Simon Q. Walden.
Hi. On today's video bite, I'm going to be talking about whether it's worth going for your A, L or F. Now, if you're not sure what those means, let me backtrack a bit. Organisations have a whole bunch of accreditation recognition systems. The one that I'm going to particularly talk about is the one run by the Royal Photographic Society in the UK, the RPS. And they have a system of associate, licentiate, fellowship, and ARPS, LRPS, FRPS. And other organisations have very similar kinds of schemes. They might call it a master, it might be a fellow, whatever. And that's true both of amateur organisations and some of the professional organisations, the trade bodies as well. So for example, the SWPP operates a similar scheme. So is it worth going for them? Okay, so here's the thing is, I'm not somebody who's ever worried about having letters after my name. So I'm not going to tell you to do it for that reason. But I do know this, is that the process of preparing for one of these assessments is enormously valuable. So generally speaking, they'll all work in the same way, is that you put forward a body of work, maybe 15 or 20 images, say, and a panel of 3, 4, 5 or more judges will assess the panel as a whole and evaluate them against the criteria for the particular level of award that you're going for. So if you're going to submit for a fellowship award, and just to give you a feel for this, for the RPS, the Royal Photographic Society, there are only something like 800 fellows in the whole world. So it's a fairly, prestigious award. You have to show a whole bunch of things. You have to show that you've got a good body of work, that you've got a full mastery and control of your technical skills, you've got a full mastery and control of your creative skills, that you've been able to pursue a particular theme or a technical style or something like that, that shows that you really have a strong understanding of the process and so on. And in creating any kind of panel to go forward for an award level, it really forces you to look at all of your images and evaluate them and critique them really hard for yourself. But not only that, more than that though, I think that there's often a journey associated with this, because often the submissions are theme-based. You'll sit down and you say, well, okay, I have been shooting, I don't know, let's just say, I've been shooting art nudes for a few years now. I've got a good collection of work. And you pull out your library and you pull out your best pictures. But actually when you put them together, you realise that actually it's a bit random, that you've pursued certain themes within it, but there are areas that are missing, or that there are pictures that don't really kind of fit, or that you realise you haven't actually pursued that topic far enough and in depth enough. And I think that one of the biggest values of this process is the journey, the discipline, the working towards, because so often people will work through building a particular theme or a particular story or a particular technique specifically for a particular panel assessment, award assessment. I have seen people put together a panel from a single shoot and get their award, which is quite unusual and should be recognised as such. I've recently been working with a photographer towards their fellowship panel. He's only been shooting for about 2.5 years. His target is to get his fellowship in 3 years. I think he's got a good crack at it. He's going up soon. But that would be quite extraordinary as well, to get a fellowship in 3 years, and normally you need 10, 20 years worth of experience. But I think these targets in terms of forcing you to a journey and a discipline can be so positive. Just a footnote, often with these awards is you only get to keep them while you remain a member of the society. And if you don't keep up your subscription, then you don't necessarily get to keep the letters after your name forever. It does depend a little on societies. So, is it worth going for an associate, a licentiate, a fellowship, or whatever it might be? Yes, I think it is. I think the process, the journey, the discipline of it all is definitely worth doing it. Just don't get too hung up about actually having the letters after your name.
Subscribe now for regular tips and updates. To find out more, go to ulearn.photography.